RedWolf here, and today's target is the IQA-11. We'll be taking a look at the magazine size, rate of fire, damage and how it drops off, cooling power, and accuracy. I'm going to assume that you already know which class this weapon belongs to, but if you don't, I'll link the trooper review for their class in the card that's coming up on your screen now. But before we get into all of that, if you enjoyed this kind of video, hit that like button to let me know, and then subscribe and hit notifications so you know when new videos are out. YouTube is changing and subscribers play a major role, and I would love your support. New videos are on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. And now that that's all out of the way, let's get into the info. The IQA has 3 attachments available: a zoom, a bolt speed, and cooling. We'll cover these throughout the video, but the first one is going to be cooling. The IQA can fire off 5 consecutive shots before it's forced to cool down. However, you can extend that to 7 if you include a cooling attachment. The cooling attachment doesn't actually decrease the amount of time it takes for the weapon to cool off, so it's kind of strange that they named it the cooling attachment. This puts the IQA as the second lowest amount of rounds available before needing to cool, only beating out the NT242. Even with the cooling attachment equipped, it's still lower than all others. This makes more sense as we look at the other stats, but it's something to keep in mind when you're engaging multiple targets. With the IQA, you're able to get through your standard 5 rounds in 1.5 seconds, and if using the cooling attachment, the 7 rounds in 2.24 seconds. Like the number of rounds you can fire off, this is the second slowest rate of fire of all the DMR rifles, still only beating out the NT242. But since this is a sniper rifle, or a DMR for those of you who don't watch a ton of movies, let's move on to where the stats start to shine. The damage on the specialist DMRs is different than any other class, in that they have a 0 drop off of damage. Regardless if you're giving the other player a hug or shooting them from across the map, the IQA is going to do 66 damage to anything that's not a headshot. If it's a headshot, it's going to do 127 damage, so it'll take 1 headshot to kill a specialist, 2 headshots to kill everyone else besides heroes. If you hit the body, it will take 2 for specialists, 3 for assault and officers, and 4 for heavies. Well, 3.03 for heavies. This is the second highest damage weapon in class, beaten only by the NT242. So before we get into accuracy and grouping, when I tested the bolt speed, I didn't see a difference in the speed it took to force the cooling, and when I tested it for recoil, there wasn't much of a difference there either. I'm honestly not sure what this attachment does. It says it's supposed to maintain weapon stability, but I really don't see a difference when you look at the groups. So the green is without bolt speed and the blue is with it. Again, I don't see much of a difference. Also, if you're not aiming on this weapon, you're all over the place. But if you're shooting hip fire with a DMR, you've obviously made some mistakes. The grouping on the aim down sights is pretty tight though, but that's kind of expected from a DMR. So with the groups being very tight, and with the rate of fire being faster than the NT242, this weapon is actually a very good weapon to be using if you're into sniping in this game. Although it only kills specialists with a headshot in 1 shot, and it'll take multiple shots for the other classes, it's hard to land headshots at a distance, unless you're amazingly good at sniping. So with that, I do kind of tend to lean towards this whenever I do come to a sniping situation. Mainly because you can fire off the shots faster, the accuracy and grouping is extremely tight, and the damage that it does is pretty high. Now the NT242 is an amazing rifle, I'm not taking anything away from that, and we'll cover the NT242 in a couple weeks here. Mainly because it's really hard to get NT242 footage that isn't me trading. However, I do highly recommend using this weapon if you're into the specialist for sniping. For the cooling on this weapon, it's very quick. If you manually cool, it'll take 1 second. If you overheat and are forced to cool, it'll take 1.1 second to hit the blue and 1.46 seconds to hit the gold. If you let it cool all the way down on its own, it'll take 2.16 seconds. Now, I don't think I've covered this before, and I didn't really think about it until I was testing this, but if you hit the gold, you can get up to an additional 13 shots before you're needing to start your normal cooling cycle of 7 shots. So on total, if you hit the gold, you can fire 20 rounds before you hit the cooling. This is if you fire those 13 shots as quickly as possible though, and really the only situation you'll ever need to do that is if you're engaging a large clump of troops. But I don't know if anyone will find that information useful. If you do, let me know and I can go ahead and test the rest of the weapons. So at this time, I do have all the other weapons planned out and dated. I really appreciate those who requested some specific weapons, and if you want to know the date for a specific weapon, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to tell you. In the comments section down below, let's talk about the farthest place you've been away from your home, either for work, school, or pleasure. So the farthest I've been is Iraq. I was in the army, so that's why I was there. I honestly couldn't think of anything else to put in here, but I just finished recording and writing the aiming video, and I guess I was just kind of reminiscing. If you liked this video or found any of the information useful, please hit that like button. It does greatly help. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel because I love having you guys here, and it also helps out quite a bit. If you're on the PlayStation, you can come join my PlayStation community. It's RedWolf72ps4, where we can talk and party up for a few matches. You can also find me on Twitter at RedWolf72ps4. If you have any questions, please let me know. I do have everything linked to my phone, and I can reply pretty quickly as long as I'm not, doing something else that is actually real life related. But thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you in game.